2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We Are Europe is it's a lot of different things actually. It's a cooperation project, so it's 8 European festivals in 8 different countries, and they are all kind of gathered to promote an artistic scene of speakers in Europe. The idea is they work together to curate and to promote and to encourage the mobility of these people.
We normally work with what we have in common with the different festivals, and with Ralph and the CO Pop team, we have in common music industry. This year it was DJ culture and the integration of streaming in the DJ booth, but also music technology in the creative side. These people, the people that make the instruments that the musicians use to create. Then with today's art we have in common new media art and AV performances.
This beautiful network that we belong to as Today's Art and Sonar as well. This is funded by Creative Europe, and the way it works is that every year we invite 2 festivals from this network, and we go to 2 festivals. And this inviting and going means that we are co-creating a program together. Before it was just co-creation. Now we decided to make a list in advance, so that means these 8 festivals belonging to this network, they come up with a list of what we call change makers. People in the creative industries, people from Europe that have something to say.
Making a music festival is a bit like overcome. It's really important to have all the topics which are really related to people outside the music ecosystem. Of course, every festival, every event has different perspectives on that. One is more like, creativity, technology. The other one is more like arts and performing arts and so on and so on. But in general, we have this common sense of that we have to open our gates.
These kind of festivals that bring together art and philosophy and critical thinking are very powerful in this direction. So in this sense, I see hope in festivals. I see more hope in organizing these interdisciplinary events than in political parties or in any kind of traditional political structures. I think people discuss much better, more freely around art and around practical getting together actually.
It's crucial to have this sort of dialogue because you need to understand from different perspectives, learn from different skill sets, learn from different specialisms, and everyone's coming from different places around the world.
I think there is always different perspectives, but I think we share a common vision of trying to move forward and do new, interesting things.
So, I don't know, my hope for the future of music would be that people would continue to experiment and to allow themselves to step out of a kind of retro approach to music, and there are plenty of people taking that approach.
What we want to do is basically connect it all together. On the one side, invite more people to make music, while on the other side, really help all the users that are already, utilizing a lot of our stuff to just be more inspired and more creative and bring interesting things into this world.
Our studio, we are thinking about the future using the AI machine learning algorithms for doing the art, especially sound and music and visuals and architecture. We are asking too many impossible questions for build the future.
This is one of the few places you can come where all of these different tribes come together. You see people that you sometimes don't see otherwise. There's something about this particular node that's really important.
Because everything is so experimental and everything is related to investigation and experimentation, that it's really, really important to understand how other people is working and what other people is doing as well. Not to feel so solitary, and also to be able to know what's going on in this world.
In 2015, I was at Sonar and I was not playing. I remember I saw Herndon. I was so inspired by that girl, and she was one of the artists that made me, give me the courage to actually try and do it. And look, 4 years later, here I am. It's just so cool to actually have the chance to talk about it with other artists.
I think and I hope that we go in a path of being valuable in terms of our resources. I see creativity merging in the future, merging with real needs, everyone having his space to understand what is his purpose.
Really pushing the boundaries when it comes to everything musicians and DJs are able to do in their live performance. So whether it be hardware or even the software, all of it combined allows musicians and DJs to really do exactly what they love in an easier way.
You know, what we're doing in this space is really kind of opening up the access to the music, to the software. And we talk about the democratization of it and opening it up to people of all genders, all backgrounds, all ethnicities, people who in the past maybe didn't really have access to computers.
I'm more interested in cultures that can grow and sustain, like a sonar, for example, that's been around for over 20 years, right? And grow to their true extent. I'm more interested in, that's the kind of the relationship with culture that I have. I'm not interested in something that's interesting for 20 minutes and then disappears.
So AI is not a matter of the future, it's actually happening right now. And I'm very optimistic about it as a very creative tool, and the possibilities that this can offer to create sounds, to innovate, etc. I'm really looking forward. I'm super excited about it.
I was part of a panel about the future of the internet, specifically dedicated to infrastructures and the next 20 years of internet development.
I think, or at least I hope, as a solar punk and an optimist, that the immediate future of technology and also of the world, there are glimmers of hope around the things that we need to get done in the next 30 years, particularly around regeneration of our ecology, and we need to think very hard and long about the enmeshment of new technologies in our ecologies as well, and how those power dynamics will play out around who owns the data and so on and so forth.